I just want to know though, do you get a membership card when you join the Clone Society? Is it
Honestly,
like an ID card?
yeah, no, if you don't get one, I mean, how would you know if you're even in? But what do they give you? Like a red ball to put on your nose? Like, what is the card?
I
It's
mean,
like
I don't
engraved
know.
on the inside.
Do you like pop it inside out like when you show? Are you an official member? Do you get a stamp?
I mean, like, do they write your name on a pair of clown shoes? I don't know what a clown membership would look like.
I don't get how people can walk in those clown shoes, but I guess the whole point is to have a goofy walk, honestly.
I guess so.
But I don't know. Are we supposed to say an intro like welcome
Oh,
to
hi.
to the podcast? Us.
Sup, hoes?
Cereal Boxes podcast. Welcome.
Yes. Welcome to the first installment of what is probably a terrible idea.
I mean, it could be.
It's
Nobody
not
knows.
wrong.
Shit. Well, oops. I'm dropping shit here. It's not good. I guess what I want to start off with the definition of murder and what it is, what it means to us. I gotta look off like, oh.
I like how you like lead into it like it's a church sermon. What does faith mean to us?
Murder, the unlawful premeditated killing of one human, being by another, obviously, without justification or valid excuse. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing.
Wait, they classify it only as like premeditated?
Yes.
Oh,
If you were to Google that, like, that's what it comes off with.
that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
If
I mean,
you,
because like I know that like they really try to go for that in court, but I didn't realize it's because that's the literal definition of murder.
well, yeah, like when you Google it, but if you click into it, all of a sudden it goes like further in depth, like why, like, obviously all sorts of murder, like, because it comes in all ways, sadly, like as like homicide, manslaughter, like by the masses, serial assassination, and more.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because like manslaughter, for instance, is like you did something but you didn't like intentionally kill somebody.
Yeah, like
They died as a result of like something you may have done, like vehicular manslaughter, for instance.
like you were driving carelessly or too fast and someone was crossing the road or little Timmy was getting the ball. Like
Can I just say that like stuns me all the time of like how does that even happen? Like, because I guess I just don't get the trope of like I didn't see it, but you're driving. What are you doing?
like yeah, well, and I think that's where it comes like more modern age. It's obviously like texting while driving or
Oh
like
yeah.
your friends in the car. I don't know.
Oh, see, I forget that exists because I don't do that shit. I don't. If you
yeah,
text and drive, you're terrible. Fuck you.
yeah, if you absolutely have to send a text, just pull over, put on your caution light, see if it's on a road, pull in a parking lot. Like,
I
yeah.
don't mean to sound so vicious about it, but like it's just something that is so preventable. Like it makes me mad.
Well, the thing is, like, when they cause wrecks, or they're not paying attention, like, you're sitting at a green light halfway through, you finally honk your horn, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, and then, they're driving off, and all of a sudden, it's red. And there's that person that goes behind, or the person that flies through it, like, yellow, right about to turn red, that you cause a lot of accidents. Don't be retarded. Like,
Yeah,
just slow
guys,
down. Don't be
PSA.
dumb, please.
PSA, drive nicely.
Be kind.
Don't kill
rewind.
people. Is that going to be the slogan for this show? Don't kill people.
I mean, I guess that is the best slogan we could actually think of, because I mean, we're not condoning to kill people. Like, don't go out and be like, I heard about this one time on a podcast, let me just go perform that. Yeah, no, please don't kill.
Because like I know there's an argument like even like vigilantism is considered murder because you should not be going out and just killing somebody. That's not your job.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much to come about it.
Like, do we really want to go? I love when people say, let's go back to the olden days where we could go round bad guys up and hang them from trees. Like, no. Can we not do that, actually?
Yeah, let's not, like, 1800s this bitch.
Yeah, we don't need to, honestly.
And,
I'm just saying, think of the worst, stupidest person in your family. Would you want them to have the power to kill somebody? That's what I'm asking you to do.
and the thing is, like, I mean, anyone can kill someone. Honestly, do I have it in me to take someone's life for no reason or some weird fetish? No, I don't, because I don't have any of those. I just, no. Please don't kill people.
No, but I'm sure interested in the psychology of those who can. Which is what this show is probably going to explore quite a bit.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into a lot of things, and it's not just gonna be murder. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of stuff. I'd say the podcast is gonna be like, I'm gonna cover other things like mystery, supernatural, cults, and etc. And it's not gonna just every episode's gonna be on like one specific person, place, or thing. Like, we wanna do like groups of stuff and like mini series on things because whatever's cool and interesting, and that's what we want to do.
The basic way, like, I can describe it is that we're going to do things on a topical basis. So it's like, for instance, today we're talking about clowns. What does that mean? Well, you'll have to listen to find out because
dabble into my biggest fear.
We thought it would be a different approach to go into this with the idea of exploring things by topic. That way we're just not reiterating what everybody else is saying about certain people. Like, for instance, if you've heard one Jeffrey Dahmer podcast, you've heard them all.
Yes. I mean, and there's, we'll talk about some of those guys, and don't get me wrong, but we're not going to just go in depth on one thing or one person.
We mostly want to talk about the concepts of what they do and why they do it. We want to raise questions in this show, and we want to discuss those things.
And the thing is, we're also not going to just do current, stuff. We want to go from different eras, different times, and, explore all those, even, things way before our time. And I think that'd be a lot of fun because not everyone does that because they don't want to dig deep into that kind of history. But
yeah, because like I would love to explore some of them axe murders.
Yes.
Because there were a lot of them for some reason.
Maybe that was just because it was the cheapest weapon, honestly.
I mean, but like, and half the time they weren't even done with an axe, right? They were done with like a mattock or a hatchet, like, which are significantly smaller than an axe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously throughout history, a lot of people use like guns or spears or something, but the people who are like the most creative, like things like they killed like 7 people with one candlestick. Like, how? What do you do?
You know what I just realized?
What?
We didn't say our names. Hi, I'm Miranda.
Oh. I'm Elisa. Hello. Goes by Allie, though. So, if you hear my own reference.
How long are we in? Now you know who we are.
Almost 10 minutes in. I think. I don't know. Maybe less than 10 minutes. I'm not sure. I forgot when I hit record.
Let's see.
How long have you been recording?
Exactly like 8 minutes. So.
Hey! What's up?
Nice to meet all of you.
How you doing? How's the family?
Yeah, you doing good? You eating healthy? You staying away from Miss Rona?
She hasn't brought you down yet?
Honestly, no.
I'm good. I wear a mask.
I like how everybody, like, I understand some people can't stay home, but I am thriving, honestly. I'm fine.
I think I'm home probably about 50% of my time, maybe more like 70%, and then when I go out and do other things.
Oh, me, an easy 90. I'm an artist, so that's why. Like, I have stuff to do, you know? It's all y'all without hobbies that are losing your minds.
Yeah, like, find a hobby. I mean, I do gaming, but not that good. Or I go work for whenever I feel like it. And then I got this podcast. Woo!
Yay!
Welcome. If you guys could
But
see
we're gonna
us on
talk
video,
about some dark shit.
We look like a hot mess, but we're here.
Yeah, Yeah, trust me, it's not. I'm in a nightshirt, which who wears those anymore?
I mean,
Me, they're comfy.
I got
Fight
a tank
me.
top, some shorts, my hair's up, I got my glasses on. Well, these are just so I can not strain my eyes on the computer. And, yeah. It's a pretty. Okay, so getting back to this. Sorry.
Oh yeah, but so yeah, like I said before, today's topic is clowns.
Yes, and there is so much I could say, and you're going to hear a lot of hate towards clowns. If you're a clown lover, I'm sorry, but
This
there
is not the
those of
podcast
us
for you.
who just do not believe in that kind of negativity. And I'm one of them.
And I know that's hard to believe because everybody listening to this is going like, who the hell likes clowns? And I'm like, to tell you the truth, a lot of people like clowns.
Well, my grandmother, my mom's mom, she was such a fan of clowns. We'd walk into her house and she had thousands of clowns and paintings and blankets. And I'm terrified. My mom would like have me go sit with her for the day. I sat outside her door of her apartment on the floor and just drew for hours.
No. That would have noped me out of there real fast.
I guess we should probably start with the definition of I can never pronounce the freaking word.
The fear of clowns?
I'm stuck with words. Coulrophobia? I can't say it. It's obviously the extreme or irrational fear of clowns, but how do you even pronounce it? I know how to spell it.
The chlorophobia, I think is what it's called.
Coulrophobia? I don't know why I have a speech impediment with some words.
I think it's chlorophobia. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience. I'm sure you will.
Because I can spell it. It's COULROPHOBIA. Like, I can spell it.
But I like the definition that I pulled up on Google just now. Because it says, it translates literally to a fear of someone who walks on stilts. And I'm like, I don't think that's
it.
I think it's probably something to do with, I don't know, the face.
I mean,
just a theory.
Well, see, what it is for me, it's not only the way some of them look. I mean, some, they're like, oh, look at like Ronald McDonald. Like, fuck Ronald McDonald. I don't care because to me, clowns are fake. And what problem is that they're hiding behind something, their real identity, and they're pretending to be happy. Like, I don't know. And then
it's kind of like the uncanny valley sort of idea of it.
Yeah, and it's just there's
like it's human, but it's not quite. And I've heard it said that in psychology, people don't like people in mass, which ironic for the time we're in right now. But a lot of people don't like not being able to identify somebody. That's just some weird primal part of our brain does not like when we can't identify somebody.
It's really hard, and I just don't like the fact that it's just like, there's some, like, obviously during Halloween there's gonna be those scary ass clowns, and fuck you if you're one of those that likes to scare people dressed as one. I hate you. And then there's those that are like there to like make kids happy and balloon animals, and there's like ones that dress up to go to like kids hospitals, and kudos to them. I'm so happy they try.
I feel like if I was a sick kid in a hospital, I would want a damn clown coming to
bring me a balloon animal. I would be the world's worst clown because the only balloon animal would be like, look, it's a snake or a worm. That's it. That's all you get.
That's all I got. I can make like a little loop flower, maybe.
I mean, I would make a terrible clown.
But like, I know like clowns originally were, I mean, granted, I don't think they were supposed to be heinous from the get-go, but I know that clowns, like back in the day, even like in early television, were meant just as like, entertainers in between programming. Like they would like do tricks and they would, do funny like skits almost.
Well, like the Barnum and Bailey circus and all like eras before television and stuff like that. Yeah, they were there for entertainment to give a good laugh and stuff, and I understand that, and like that's great. And if you're into that, but there's just something it's very deceiving to me about them, and I don't like them. I know.
And the painted on smile too. That's like I think that's the thing that always kind of weirds me out. Because
like
I said, there's some sort of fake representation on there, which is probably the point, but it's also kind of like unnerving in some weird way.
yeah, and you're just like, okay, I can't do it. Like Randy has seen me run away from clowns before, and I've also threatened to kick the shit out of a clown. I've hit one in the face before. I will admit that. He scared me. I clocked him.
You mean like the one like so we were at this like corn maze thing and they do a haunted trail.
Oh God.
And there I think a clown like person popped up. I had to literally grab like you by the wrist.
That thing had like
a
massive head, and then that one that cut us off, I kept tapping it, and I probably just snapped like, dude, I'm gonna hit you if you don't let me get back to her. He kind of just scooted to the side. I was like,
yeah,
that guy was like 6'8". I swear to God, he was huge.
He was like ridiculously tall. Like it was, and then like you said, his giant clown head. Like I wasn't here for it. I mean, I don't know who else was.
I mean, and here's the thing: is like I'll let you know. Yeah, we may sound like we're exaggerating the height, but I'll let you know we're both barely over 5 feet tall. So believe me, they were tall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody looks tall to us.
Yeah, I went to another. It was like
you're 1 inch taller than me. I'm like, wow.
I mean, I went to another one. Like,
what's it like up there?
I went to another haunted house like when I was a teenager, and we went in, me and 3 of my friends. Well, they put me in the back of it because you have to walk like single file the way you're kind of blindly walking through. Heard something pop behind me. It was a clown scare me. I turned around and just hit it, and I knocked him out. That was so bad.
Oh my God.
And
I know that's like a big thing for those haunted houses too. Like people get hurt all the time.
And I had friends who worked as like to scare people in that haunted house, and it was great. But they're like, I heard you hit a clown the next day at school. I was like, yeah, I hit him. I'm sorry.
Oh, you became known as the clown puncher.
Everyone knew about it.
You became known as the clown fighter.
I just hated
That's
it.
jacked up.
You know, fuck that guy. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. But I think the origin of the scary clown actually comes from John Wayne Gacy, which if you guys don't know who John Wayne Gacy is, he was a serial killer in I believe the 1970s, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, the 70s is like where he really like started with doing it and then start killing. But I know he did commit all of his murders at his farm. He didn't.
Yeah, and there was like 33 of them, I think.
Well, it said 33 plus. They said about 20 something of them were found buried in his basement under the floorboards, and then a couple were buried somewhere on the property, and then he threw some into a river. I think the last 4 he ever killed, he threw it into the river. I think he ran out of room.
I think because he had no space in his freaking house, his basement graveyard. But the reason why I say that he is the origin of the scary clown is because this guy, man, oh my God, he like really wanted to be a clown. This is actually a passion of his, and so he came up with the persona of Pogo. And I've heard this like analyzed by people who study clowns, which kudos to you guys. You're the heroes out here. But clowns don't typically paint their faces with pointy lines. That's why whenever you see like nice clown makeup, it's very round. It's very friendly looking. As friendly looking as it can be for a fucking clown, but
and the thing is, like,
yeah, they usually don't use pointed like lines and stuff. So a lot of people said that should have been kind of like a red flag from the get-go. He was out here trying to scare people even when he wasn't trying to scare people.
Yeah, like, well, because, and I believe his makeup, because he had two clown outfits, so he portrayed two different clowns. I know
He did.
Pogo's and something else, but you actually register, if you're an official clown, you actually register to, like, a whole society, and they actually...
Yeah, because all makeup is like unique, correct?
Yeah, in the way you do it, and no clown is supposed to copy like exact to another. So you have to, when you want to make your living as a clown, you register your makeup style. So I thought that was it's kind of cool and kind of crazy. So I know there's some good, some bad. And oh, by the way, if you actually watch this video, like when I post it to YouTube or whatever, I will let you know I'm actually going to post photos and references. And the pictures of Gacy's two clown outfits were actually ones that I took. I didn't actually take that off the internet, even though you can find them there. Because we went to a museum where they actually had some of Gacy's stuff, and they had the two clown outfits. So it'll definitely be plugged in.
It's very surreal to see in person. It's kind of just unnerving. And me, I don't scare easily, but even I was like standing back from the display case because it just felt, I don't know how to explain it. It just felt like being close to evil.
It's eerie because you know the history and like what happened behind that and the mentality that man had, and in that display there was just those, and then they also had like his art stuff and everything from when he was in jail and like paintings he painted.
Oh yeah, because this guy couldn't just dress up as a clown. He had to go and freaking paint his alter egos all the time when he was in prison. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, they had like stuff from his like wallet and everything, and it was really creepy because he was killed, like, well, he was put to death in prison in 94, so I would have been 5.
I would have been 1.
Yeah, I would have been 5 years old, so I was like...
I don't know why I thought, maybe I just never put it together. I don't know why I thought he died in the 80s or, like, before me, but that's, to know I shared a world with him at some point is...
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I didn't think about it either until I was like looking, and I was like, he died in 94? We're like, really? I was like, oh my god, I was 5 years old. I was like, holy shit.
And by the way, like, he continued even after being in prison. He still tormented people. I know one reporter was so affected, and I cannot recall his name, but he was so affected by his interactions with Gacy that poor guy actually killed himself.
Yeah, and he was just on this next level, and here's the weird part is he killed mainly boys, teenagers. He was like a sex offender and all that, and a pedophile. But here's the thing is that he was married twice during this whole time. He was married to a woman, like the whole time he was killing. And I was like, did she not suspect?
Well, let's be honest. Anything? He was a self-hating gay.
Yeah.
Which is evident from his childhood, which I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to spend the time on this piece of shit to tell you.
Maybe podcast, but not this one.
Yeah. But he was very homophobic and very closeted. So it's interesting though to me that he killed a lot of his victims in the clown suits. Maybe that's the other reason why seeing him in person was just so weird, because that's the last image some of these guys had in their head.
And yeah, and I can only imagine, but I did find this out on how he was kind of like able to like murder some of them. Is that what he would do is he'd bring him back to the farm and everything, and he would try to show him like tricks, and stuff like that. And with these...
Oh, like the handcuff trick?
Yeah, and then he would handcuff them, and then he would beat them, rape them, or whatever, and then murder them, or... murder and then rape. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Which is like I said, can you imagine though? Can you imagine that is the last thing you encounter is this crazy guy in a clown freaking suit?
Yeah, and it's so much, and I feel bad for the families, and I feel bad for whoever they never found. like, kids or, teenagers that were missing. And it's sad. Yeah, I think you're right. He was he was
And I think
very,
some of them aren't identified, correct? Isn't that why like the number is kind of skewed? Is that they think that he may have killed a lot more? They just don't know.
yeah, well, I think he said he lost count is from what they were finding.
Which, oh my God, how do you lose count?
I
Like,
think in so much he wasn't killing for like a specific number, or maybe he didn't delve into certain ones that he just didn't care for. And maybe I think that's why, like, his mentality kind of like, okay, I kind of forgot about these guys because he was more focused on. I think the ones he put in his basement, those were very focused. Like, he really picked those people out for a certain reason.
well, and a lot of them like worked for him too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, which he owned like KFC restaurant chains, correct?
I believe he did. Like he had like this whole thing going. Like this guy, he was.
I know he was like on the Chamber of Commerce. Like he was in there.
He, well,
You know
like,
what
he
I
was
mean?
like a really smart guy. Like it was.
And charming. Everybody said that they would have never guessed that he would have done something so
Well, like
heinous.
his picture for like when they, they booked him or whatever. He was like kind of like smiling, like.
But just like, God, dude, you're in here for murder.
But it's like either he was happy because, in a sense, I guess the mental torment was over for him. I don't know, but
And then he went on to thrive in prison.
yeah, it was like what the hell was going on? But
Which is
and some
just,
people,
I don't know.
Some people applauded this man. Some people loved what he did, and those were other just psychos in the world. But
Well, and that's where we get into, scary clowns and the mentality of like how it kind of becomes a phenomenon really after Gacy, that people start using the clown imagery for scary purposes. It's very strange that it turns so quickly.
it really is, and
Because somebody's identifying with that aspect of his mentality.
they are, and I think eventually down the road we'll talk about copycat killers, because there's a lot of people who thrived or looked at famous killers but tried to obviously copycat or take that kind of persona and run with it.
And eventually we'll swing back to Gacy because we want to do an episode of movies based off of serial killers and kind of the issues we think that come with that.
Yes.
So definitely going to swing back around to him. This won't be the last time you hear about
Gacy.
this piece of
Yeah.
shit, John Wayne Gacy.
But
yeah, so, clown, the clown thing, the clown.
clowns.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me, like, you have things that sprout up, later, like the Insane Clown Posse and, the clown sightings.
Oh, yes. The clown sightings. What was it? Just a few years ago.
What sparks that shit, though? Like, do you, like, get a call when, like, if you're a part of this, what I assume, secret society of spooky-ass clowns?
See,
do you just get a text one day? Like, hey, we're
that
doing
was,
this.
like, in the dark web, and they just decided one day they were just going to scare the nation. And some of these clowns were people just doing it just to be funny. But some of them were actually out to hurt people, and people did get hurt or stabbed or, and these people were just, like, lingering in the frickin' parks, like, in the woods, just standing there. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna admit, I'm a fat girl. My butt ain't running, so either I'm gonna put a fight or die. I don't care.
Okay, yeah. Anybody should know on this podcast, by the way, Elisa doesn't run. Elisa fights.
Yeah, that is my number one rule.
That's like a staple in our house.
Everyone knows I'm not gonna run. I will fight you. Like, I do not care. I don't care if you got a gun. I'm gonna fight you anyways.
See, like me, like we always had like a plan because we did live together at one point, but like we always had a plan. If somebody broke in, I would run to get the help. She would stay behind and kick the shit out of whoever was in the house.
Well, yeah, and it's just no fear. No fear to an extent. Now, I know it's a clown, and if they were coming at me, yes, I'm going to be scared, but I'm one of those people who,
Yeah, but if it comes at you, it comes at you.
I will overcome that slight fear and it's fight for survival at that point. And I'm sorry if you hear a meow or anything, because I do have cats in the room with me. She does too. One of them, he's just kind of figuring out what he wants to do right now. Sorry.
And sometimes they're needy. They want attention. They're all spoiled.
Yes, it's Chester Cheetah right now. But anyways.
Now I know the most like recent, big clown, like the ones that spanned over most of North America and Canada. Those were in 2016.
Yes, but
which y'all probably all remember this, but I remember being really scared because where we lived in Tennessee, specifically, we were surrounded by a lot of woods, and there were a lot of sightings in our area. And I think one guy got cut by one too.
Yeah, where we lived was right outside city limits, but it looked very much like a small town where we were at, and there was a park not far from us, and things, people were lingering in that park. A lot of people would go jogging there. You could go fishing, yada yada yada. There was a baseball park.
Now, granted, you got to figure this is the South, and not a lot of people really feel threatened by a lot.
Because everyone has a gun.
Yeah, everybody has a gun or a knife on them, really. So it's kind of like, why you would choose to do it here, I have no idea. But, so, a lot of people didn't take it very seriously. Like, if you would see a clown or whatever, you'd be like, oh, whatever, these guys are idiots. Or, nobody really took it that seriously in our area until that one guy got cut, and that was a whole different, story.
But
I remember too, like we didn't the city tell us not to be going out by ourselves and everything too.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to be going out at night and whatever else. Because some of them were getting gutsy, like lingering the back end of a Walmart parking lot,
And some on playgrounds, which oh my god, if you
poor kids.
I don't care how much of a prank it is. If you terrorize children, that's another level of fucked up.
Yes, and there's one person in particular we want to mention on that note. And it's Sir Wrinkles the Clown.
Oh my god. Okay, so on Hulu, there's this, I guess it's a documentary. This clown in particular, he's a scary clown. His name is Wrinkles. And the controversy around Wrinkles is that parents call this damn clown to scare their kids into behaving. Now, it didn't start off like this. Wrinkles was actually an art project by an unnamed artist who wanted to make, these kind of viral videos of clowns crawling from under people's beds and stuff.
Yeah.
But it soon caught on, and somebody else, another Wrinkles, decided to use this as a means to get money so that people... Well, actually, I don't think that he got... No, he didn't. Well, I take that back. He didn't get paid at all. He
would ask for $100 or $200 to do it, and that's it.
Did he? Yeah. Okay, I didn't want to misquote. Because
that's when I found that people were actually paying him. Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous. And all they do is call him. He doesn't show up anywhere from my understanding. But all they have to do is call him. But that's still jacked up. And you have these freaking kids, man. These kids calling this clown going I'm going to cut your face off.
So I'm going to read to you what I wrote on this whole subject. Because it's a paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to give you my entire feelings on this.
Oh, here we go. The monologue.
So I said, Wrinkles the Clown is an unknown person who is a terrifying asshole. This creepy guy gets paid by parents with no heart to scare their children. Now, in one aspect, I understand the slight humor, but as someone who is terrified of clowns, I don't condone this on small kids. That's why you instill additional fears into your children. Plus, why in the hell would you pay a stranger to sneak into your house? 1, you're asking to get robbed. 2, they could be a pedophile. 3, they could work as a sex trafficker. So this mysterious man has been doing this since 2015-ish, or maybe a little bit sooner, and shame on those people for doing it.
And like I said, from my understanding, he's never shown up, actually. All the videos that you see were made by the performance artist who originally created Wrinkles. But this other Wrinkles has never shown up at the house of... He just takes the phone calls or whatever. It's very strange. I encourage you to go watch the friggin' documentary.
See, she has watched it. I have not, because I will have nightmares. I know I will.
However, do I still think it's fucking wrong to terrorize your kids to behaving? Yeah, that's horrible. Be a better parent. That's all I'm saying.
Yourselves.
I know being a parent is hard, but Really, if you're gonna resort to calling a scary clown to discipline your kid, I don't know how to help you.
I lose all respect for you. I mean, I understand doing things for fun or scaring people. Don't get me wrong. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Believe me, I invest
Yeah, we're spooky hoes. I love
all
all
of my stuff in. It's great. But the thing is, I think this is wrong because you don't know this person. And if you cannot find out their information or anything, you don't know what their real intention
Well, then you
is.
call them and they have your phone number, and you can do a lot with that nowadays.
Yeah, and you can also create fake phone numbers. You can buy phone numbers. You can.
But it's not even just that. I'm afraid that the guy who. I'm afraid Wrinkles is going to get hurt one day because.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I said, you should listen to these freaking phone calls of these kids calling to threaten Wrinkles. It's the scary. One little girl straight up told her dad, "If that clown shows up, I know where the gun is. I will shoot him and you." Actually, and I was like, "Whoa."
that's intense.
What the hell?
But I don't blame that kid because someone with
No,
fear,
that's a response to her being afraid of what's happening.
Yeah, so I mean, just you go watch it. We're not being paid by any of these things or whatever. Just so you know, because we're just starting out. We have no.
Wrinkles, don't call me.
Yeah, fuck you, Wrinkles. Um, so
Not the original Wrinkles. Not the original Wrinkles. Wrinkles 2.0. Fuck you.
yeah, modern Wrinkles.
Some guy just wanted to make some scary clown videos, and somebody had to go and ruin it. Apparently.
If this episode blows up, I will personally paint you a Wrinkles the Clown art piece. How about that?
Oh my god.
And I'll let you know.
How would you even be able to get through that?
Very, very scarily. I don't know.
If it's a very like janky picture, it's because she closed her eyes to do it half the time.
Yes. I'll even make it possibly if I can get my paints to work. I'll make it glow in the dark for you too. Which would be awesome.
I think just the idea of like the modern scary clowns too, of like Pennywise, for instance.
Yes. Pennywise is obviously very famous, especially with kids now, and obviously there's now been 3 movies done with Pennies, as obviously the movie It, Stephen King, which I will say the original movie, it is kind of a spoof and it's funny, and they did it all in like one shot. And Tim Curry, don't get me wrong, he's great because he was the first one. But the second one, this more modern version that came out, I will say they did a lot of things the first one didn't. And if you actually read the book, you can realize how terrifying. I'll let you know. I did read the whole thing, but it scared me.
But even they were very light touch with like a lot of what Pennywise does in the novel.
Now, I will say with the chapter 1, chapter 2, they did actually go in depth more of how he came about and like the era he came from and everything else. But the look, how scary he looks, is actually how it's described in the book. And if you can hear that cat, that's the cats in the background. Sorry, they have their own opinion. And
they're like, "Why are you talking about clowns?"
I know, they're not too happy right now. That's Buddy and Cheeto just hanging out. But it's really scary. And the Tim Curry look of the clown, yeah, it was kind of scary, but that's not actually how he was described. So the more modern one is actually how he was supposed to look. And Miranda got to, had to sit with me and watch it, but I did see the second one too, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we didn't go to a theater to see chapter 1 or 2. We wanted to watch it like in the privacy of our own house.
In case I had to stop it or something, because I don't want to waste my money.
Well, because they were afraid. I know, like, our area in particular is like really freaked out that like the clown site, like, once again, the clowns will rise in response to the It movie.
Yes.
And they were afraid that, something would happen in one of the theaters, because for some reason, whenever something like this comes out, there's always an incident. So,
and that's the thing. But the movies, I mean, they're good. They're well put. These 2 last ones, and read the book. I mean, it'll scare you on its own. If you're really into reading, I would suggest it because I do own a copy, and yes, I don't know why.
And then you've got like your more, because like clowns are a whole subgenre of like horror cinema, even in like B movie sense, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, they were freaky.
I know Eli Roth did a clown movie that I never watched because it just, I don't know. I think I got like 10 seconds into it and I was like, yeah, never mind.
Well, and then there was that like C-rated movie that we watched on Hulu. I don't think it's on there anymore. Stitches is probably one of the worst clown movies I've ever seen. It was meant to be scary, but we laughed through most of it.
Oh my God.
Created better plots than what was put together. And
yeah, because me and Elisa are really like creatively geared. Like I said, I'm writing a comic, so like I naturally have like a brain that'll sit there and like look at movies and go like, oh, maybe this will happen, or like, and we came up with like so many better endings for freaking Stitches. We gave that movie way too much credit.
We did. I think I have a cat fight going on. One's trying to sleep and the other one's trying to play. So if you heard that, believe me, they're fine. But Cheeto's sitting on the shelf and the other one's sitting somewhere. So sorry. I do apologize. It's gonna happen. But yeah, it just, movies and everything. I mean, there's some that are good, some that are bad. Not everyone's a winner, but no matter what, I'm still gonna hate the clown. So I root for anyone who kills the clown.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm not here for it.
Now,
I think Eli Roth's movie was really stupid because, in concept it wasn't. Because what it was is that this guy, spoiler alert if you haven't seen, I don't even remember what it's called. I think it's literally called just Clown. Like, I'm not shitting you. But he puts on this clown suit, and it slowly starts turning him into, like, a permanent clown. Like a scary clown. And he finds out later that the clown suit is, like, the skin of a demon. It's just like, okay. In concept, this isn't bad, but the movie rushed so fast that, like I said, I didn't get that far into it before I was like, okay, well, I've seen the whole movie. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Then it's just a waste of your time.
There's nowhere for this to go.
But I think not only with actual crazy people and clowns and everything, there's also one place in particular in the world that people are terrified of, and we're going to talk about it.
Oh, I know where you're going. Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Yes, we are going to talk about the Clown Motel. And
where I want to stay.
Okay, I'm willing to go stay for like one night, but I'm letting you know I'm bringing a gun or something with me.
Because from what I was reading of the reviews, like, it actually is a really nice hotel.
Yeah, they said people are like, oh, it's very clean. I'm like, fuck that. It's a Clown Motel. I don't care. And it's next to a cemetery. I'm like, frickin'
I don't care. It's the Ritz-Carlton, bitch. It's still the Clown Motel.
Do you get a complimentary red nose on your pillow when you stay? That's all I want to know.
No. Oh, my God. If that were the case, I would have to nope out of there right then. You're right. Yeah, it's like on TripAdvisor, it's rated like 3.5 stars. I mean, this place actually isn't that bad.
So, I will be posting pictures of the clowns, and I'm going to be posting some pictures. Okay, so most of these pictures I get off the internet, so I'll be posting some of those of the motel. It's located in, Tonopah, Nevada. It's right before you get into the desert, so pretty much it's your last stop. So it doesn't sound too great. People say supposedly it's haunted because of the cemetery next door to it, and behind the motel it looks like a trailer park, and it's like sketchy, so stay at your own risk. People, I guess, come all over to stay there just because of the theme itself, and they have like hundreds of like clowns in the lobby, and it's creepy, but to me personally it looks like a hit place to die. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Well, and I'm looking at like pictures posted by people who stayed there, and they got like freaking clown statues everywhere. Like, I am not okay with this.
Yeah, whoever just recently bought it again, because they were like, oh, it's getting closed, and then someone bought it. So people keep buying it, and the person who bought it tried to make it look more friendly with like polka dots and like better lighting. And
yeah, they try to make it look like a softer clown motel. Not realizing, like, maybe that's not the problem.
Like, we're going to make it look so nice so we can ease you right into your fear. Now, see, at Halloween time, okay, this is just my idea, and I know, again, it's messed up because it's like, goes along the lines with Wrinkles the Clown, but if you're gonna stay there and you work there, you should, like, like at nighttime or on Halloween, just, like, go and, like...
Yeah, give me the experience.
Like, knock on their door, peek through, like, pretend you're gonna peek through the window and just, like, scare them, like, oh, you know, that's funny. But if there's small children in the room, don't go to their room, please. Don't scare those kids. Like, do to adults, it's funny.
I just want to know if the staff dress up as clowns.
Yeah, you know, I did not find that out, but there's no pictures of the staff, I guess.
It's like, wait, is there even any staff? Because everybody says that the owner is really friendly or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but does anybody else work here?
I mean, now...
Because there's a picture of the front desk and, like, nobody's there. So what?
Like, do you get a discount if you come dressed as a clown? Like...
If you do, better go get my makeup on.
I guess this would still come up with the clown membership card. Like, do you get a discount there if you are?
Well, you know what's interesting, too, about, like, just clowns in general, of, like, where I think the movement's going, is that now it's, like, almost a meme word, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now how people... I love, like, clown memes for some reason. They're funny to me. Well, it's like when a girl's like, when he says that, you know, he's fully committed, like shows somebody like dressing up as a clown. And it's like, I'm like, so I wonder if like now we're gonna start taking clowns in a more friendly, funny direction. I can only hope so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are famous ones like Bozo the Clown and stuff like that. Like, there's like a lot of this stuff in the getting friendly of Ronald McDonald. Obviously, it's McDonald's, and that was their mascot.
From what I understand, though, McDonald's doesn't do a whole lot with Ronald anymore.
No, just the Ronald Playhouse and, like, I think, like, the children's
or
hospital.
Ronald McDonald House, too. Like the shelter, I guess, sort of situation.
Yeah, and there are some friendly ones, and I'm not bashing those guys, but the ones who turn it to make it, like, a whole fear factor... You're an asshole, and I'm calling you out.
Like I said, like the clown sightings, guys, wouldn't have been a problem if there were a bunch of friendly-ass clowns everywhere. That wasn't what was happening. These guys look scary as hell.
Yes, and
to the ones, by the way, that were going up to people's front porches and shit and messing with their security cameras. Fuck you. That's terrible.
Yeah, with the modern technology, it's scary what people can catch now, and it's like, ugh. But, I mean...
I would have moved the next day.
Yes. I'm gone.
I'm out. I am not here.
I will sell my car to the nearest person and get on a plane and leave. But, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I think the Clown Motel, yes, it has a lot of its own factors. And you can obviously Google and learn about it and stuff. But I would stay... If I had people...
Now, I do read that it's, like, haunted, but, like, there's not really any examples of what that haunting is.
Yeah, so. A lot of people assume it's from the cemetery next door to it, because one of the pictures, you'll see how close the cemetery is. It's, like, the parking lot, and then you just, like, walk through the gate and you're in the cemetery.
But nobody, like, shares, like, an actual ghost story, like, of, like, oh, I saw somebody walking around, or, you know, even in the graveyard, but it would make sense, but, like...
Probably the best was I found, like, a whole TikTok channel on their stay, but they stayed up like the whole time and stuff like that, and they were just walking around and like talking about like the weird like vibe I guess it gave them. I don't know if it's because they have a fear of clowns or if it's the cemetery. You don't know.
And that's the thing. You're like, okay, so is it because you find clowns like freaky, and that's like why it doesn't like ring well with you? Because somebody who likes clowns actually might enjoy theirs today.
Yeah, so it would set with me differently because of that fear. But, I mean, kudos to you if you stay. I think it would be fun to go stay, but I would have to have, like, Miranda with me or whatever. Like, we'd make it a whole thing on its own.
And a blindfold.
You gotta blindfold me when you get there. I don't even want to see the outside. It would be interesting, but then again, it's like a sketchy spot because it's like right off the interstate, and like it said, it's the last thing you see before going into
It's in the middle of nothing. Like if you look at the pictures of it, it is literally in the middle of nothing.
It's like one of the last places you see before entering like a long range of just desert. So I was like, what if that's the last thing you ever saw?
Which, can we just question the original person who made this motel and thought this was a good idea? Of like, oh, this cemetery, like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Like,
let's make a clown motel.
Yeah, this is a great
What
spot.
was your business plan? How did you pitch that?
They probably didn't.
And let's be honest, they did not have to make it right next to that damn cemetery.
They had options. They could have put the backside of it. They didn't have to see it. No, they were being jerks. I know what they were doing.
I'm telling you, whoever built the clown hotel's a psychopath. I don't know who they are, but I need to meet them.
I would say, I'd guess what I would say to people listening is, like, you know, if you actually want to comment, you make it through this whole podcast, you should tell me if you're scared of clowns or not, and like, what was your worst experience? Because that's what I would like to know.
Yeah, or if you're just like freaked out about clowns in general, like why do you think that you're afraid of clowns? Because like I said, I think my apprehension of clowns is probably just stems because I've always been interested in true crime. And John Wayne Gacy really had an impression on me in that. I don't know. I just find him so eerie.
Even as a kid, I truly hated it. My mom took me to the circus with my brother when I was 4, and I've never been back to a circus ever since because the clowns terrified me so bad, and it was just something. It's always been there. And so I hate clowns, and I just don't like how excessively happy they are or the interaction. It's because I can't really see their real identity. And I think that's why it's because I can't relate to them in some way, and it bothers me.
Well, that, and you're like a very, not like in like a bad sense, but you're a very like kind of defensive person. So like you're kind of always like hyper aware of everything that's going on around us.
Yes.
So I wonder if that plays into it. It's like you don't know what's a threat and what's not a threat. So
right. Yeah, like, you know, if we walk to a mall, I'm like, oh, okay, but I can see people. Like, even with people wearing masks right now, it doesn't bother me. Because I can see their eyes or something. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just your vibe.
See, to me, it bothers me, which I don't know why that is. But,
it's
like I said, I think clowns just bother me because of, particularly, I think Gacy just made them really gross to me in a way. You know, somebody, like, ruined something for you. That's, like, one of those things.
It's like that one kid in the class that, like, fucks it up for everybody.
Because I remember drawing clowns as a kid, which I know that sounds really, like, fucked up, but you gotta remember it. Like, they really weren't scary, and I remember seeing them a lot on TV. Like, because, like, even in 90s kids' cartoons, you see clowns all the time.
Yeah, I mean, they're there. I mean, I've done, like, you know, like, drawings of, you know, clowns and stuff. I'm not proud of it, but it freaks me out when I'm doing it. I have to make a lot of pauses in between because that's how instilled like that fear is in me. But
oh, and the like I don't like how it seems to be like a group mentality sort of thing too.
Yes.
It weirds me out because like I said, you have like things like Insane Clown Posse, which I understand probably stemmed because of the music movement, but even that like freaks me out. Like, I don't like the fact that for some reason clowns prompt groups of people to participate in their shit. Like the clown sightings. Why did that happen everywhere? What sparked that?
I don't know. The ICP, the Insane Clown Posse, the whole Juggalo thing. I'm sorry. People are like, it's like a lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. I've hated you from the beginning. I still hate you now.
A lifestyle of what? Being...
I don't, you know, they're like, I'm a Juggalo and I'm a Juggalette or whatever. I'm like, you know what? You're stupid. That's what you are. And I hate them. And my younger sister, she's like all into it all of a sudden. I said, you know where I seriously lost respect for ICP is when you all recruited Vanilla Ice. I saw him.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
The thing is, I was walking into downtown with some friends. We walked into this like bar because we were like, oh, we heard music, so we walk in there. A couple of the guys from our ICP were up on stage, and then came walking out was fucking Vanilla Ice, and he was wearing his clown makeup, and I was like, you guys are dumb. You guys suck.
like that's the other like aspect to this. I don't like a lot of things that feel really culty, and maybe that's like part of it too. Is like just the cult mentality clowns seem to have. It's very
It,
strange.
it really is, and I just can't believe it, and I don't know. It's crazy. I would like to hear everyone else's thoughts on this clowns in general and whatever else. But uh
And I think that does complete our first podcast, which is awesome.
it
But yeah, I hope you guys like this. This is probably what it's going to be like, just me screaming and Elisa explaining things.
pretty much. And our next episode will not have to deal with clowns, but it'll have some other really cool old factors, and that's Buddy meowing if you hear him. And I hope you like it, and if you do, please like, please share, please follow, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.